Another update is regarded as the newest and hardest update of all time to ever hit Skyblock. And people are saying you need millions, if not billions of coins to actually thrive and beat this update. However, I'm going to be proving them all wrong by beating this update in nothing more than a pair of Lapis armor. You're probably wondering what I mean by beat, and I'm going to go over that in just a second. First, what are the rules? There are two rules for this challenge. One, I cannot swap out of Lapis armor for the entirety of this journey. Meaning whenever I am on the Crimson Isles, I must be wearing Lapis armor. And second, I cannot get carried in any boss. I must get one of the top, if not the top damage for every single boss. But before we do that, make sure you subscribe. A very, very small portion of people who watch my videos are subscribed. And the more of you who are subscribed means the more I can make stupid videos like this, where I kind of like torture myself for your entertainment. So I think it's a really good idea if you subscribe. Hit that button, like, comment, I don't know what to comment. And let's get into it. Now, I'm going to make a few different videos on this topic because the Nether update is too big to beat in one video. In today's video, I'm going to be beating every single one of the mini bosses in Lapis armor. This includes the Mage Outlaw, Blade Soul, Magma Boss, Barb Duke, and Ash Fang. So, let's start off with Mage Outlaw. Now, Mage Outlaw is arguably one of the easiest bosses of the Nether update, so I thought I'd start there. It spawns next to the Mage area, and it has 70 million health. However, it doesn't do a whole lot of damage, and it stands still for the entire time, so it's incredibly easy to hit. In almost all of its attacks, you can very easily dodge, except for the ones that hit you no matter what. And so far, it was going pretty well. However, one issue occurred frequently, and that was when she went into their hit phase when they had a beacon above them. When they have the beacon above them, they will hit you. 100% of the time, it will not miss. And this goes for about 10 to 15 times. Now, this usually isn't an issue because it doesn't do a whole lot of damage. I'm in Lapis armor. I'm not very tanky. Granted, yes, this is basically full maxed out Lapis armor, but it's necrotic because I want to be magey, so I died. The first thing I was thinking about doing was using the Withercloak sword. However, this proved to not work, as it would only save me from 5 hits, and in that time, someone else, if there's anyone else with me, would get a lot of more damage than me, so I'd be out damaged and I would not get the placement I needed to actually call this a completed boss. So, I decided to turn to a bug. This is a Mana Vampire bug, and I made a full video going over it. Basically speaking, Mana Vampire is a new enchant that gives you X% amount of health gained per mana used near you. So if I use 1000 mana, I gain 25 health or something like that. However, there was a bug, and this works with Necro Swords. So I have a tribe member, Kahulaki, however the hell you say that, tribe member sword that I don't have enough mana to use. This costs like 24,000 mana or something. Meaning I heal like 5,000 health every single time I right click for the cost of 0 mana. This let me tank through the hit phase of the Mage Outlaw and be able to out damage almost everyone near me because of my god tier CPS and not being able to die and just not needing to heal or use any mana. And after 3 attempts, the Mage Outlaw was finally beat, with me being in first place, slapping everyone else in Lapis armor. Now, time for Blade Soul. Blade Soul is the boss right next to spawn, and he is a very annoying boss to deal with, especially if you are in Lapis armor. He has 70 million health, or 50 million health, and he can regen health by spawning in babies. And he overall does a lot of damage and moves around, which is not allowed. Now, in order to make this video actually enjoyable and not just the same thing over and over again, I decided to use different methods for each different boss. So for Mage Outlaw, I just hit it straight out, and I use the Mana Vampire bug. But if I was doing this legit, the only thing I'd be doing is just mana resetting every single boss, which basically speaking is where you go in, you plug like an entire hype clip into the boss, and then you die. And when you die, you'll gain half your mana back. Then you just teleport back and plug all your mana back into the boss, and etc, etc, etc. However, this would be incredibly boring to watch, so I decided against actually doing this. For every single boss, that is. However, I had to do this for Blade Soul. Blade Soul was so highly competitive, considering it was the first boss off spawn, and if someone sees person die to Blade Soul, they would bum rush it as fast as possible. I needed to do as much DPS as I possibly could. So mana resetting worked perfectly here. All I did was spam all the mana I possibly could into the boss, die, and then just walk back. And I was able to do this enough times before people started flocking the boss. I was able to get first place. After only a few tries, the first few tries I got out damaged by a sweaty Hype Mage. Now, onto the third easiest boss, Barb Duke. Barb Duke is a very, very tricky boss to deal with and can annoy a lot of people. Reason being is he takes reduced melee damage and deals a lot of damage, all while moving around and hitting you and regenning. So he is a pain to deal with. However, while he does have resistance to normal attacks, he does not have resistance to mage attacks. But Hype Mage could not work for this. The reason it couldn't is because I did not have enough mana to effectively do this and mana reset, so I needed to find out with something else. The item I chose to use was Fire Veil Wand. Fire Veil Wand is a new thing added to the game, and basically speaking, what it does is you right click it, and it creates a veil of fire around you, dealing X amount of damage to mobs near you. In addition to that, it only costs you 150 mana and lasts for 5 seconds, so I was able to do more damage with the mana I had using Fire Veil Wand than I was able to do with Hype. All I had to do was use my Fire Veil Wand and just run around in a circle and make sure he was following inside my Fire Veil Wand. However, this was very difficult, as if he was too far away, he wouldn't take damage, and if he was too close, he would instantly murder me. And that's not very fun. Something else I did was summon in some friends. Now, yes, I was in Lapis armor when doing this. I use a Reaper Scythe to summon in some tank zombies. The whole point of this would be they would be able to tank for me, so they wouldn't be aggroed onto me, and I would use my Fire Veil Wand to deal damage without being instantly murdered like 100 times. I still died a lot. This boss sucks. He's a sweaty pig. But not like Technoblade type of sweaty. He's like an actual sweaty pig, like a pig that just came from the gym. With the tank zombies, the boss became easier, but it was still very, very difficult, as when I summoned in the tank zombies, he would use his fire stick ability when hitting the mobs, so he would do a bunch of AoE damage, but he would not be targeting me. This let me do a little bit more damage, and after 15 minutes of non-stop dying and trying to get back, I finally beat the damn boss. And now, we only have 2 bosses remaining. The 2 most difficult bosses to do. Magma Boss and Ashfang. I first decided to do the Magma Boss. And the Magma Boss, the main issue with it is it has so much health. It has either 500 million or 1 billion health, I don't remember. But it has a lot of health and requires a lot to actually kill it. And the easiest ways to kill it is by a Terminator or Hype Maging resetting. Now, slight issue with this. I'm broke and don't have a Terminator, and I don't have enough mana to effectively deal damage with my Hype. So I was left with my Juju and Lapis armor, and sitting there for a very, very long time shooting the damn boss. I was able to kill the first 20% by myself, which was actually incredibly good. However, after this, I had to deal with the Magma Glares. I hadn't died up to this point when fighting the Magma Boss, I just dodged him. It's not that difficult. I upgraded my dodge skill, dodge level 100. But the Magma Glares and Unstable Magmas do a lot of damage, and I died to them quite a few times. And because I died to them, people saw, hey, this guy's doing Magma Boss. So guess what they did? They that sounded wrong. They came and joined me in killing the Magma Boss. And this is great. But it's also really bad, because if I don't get first or second or third place damage, I have to completely redo the Magma Boss. And it already took me 13 minutes to get rid of the first 20%. So, seeing that there's a lot of sweats flocking the boss, I decided, hey, I've already killed 1/5 of the boss. As long as we get like everyone in the server to help me out, no one person will be able to outdamage me because it will die too fast. So that's exactly what I did. I made everyone in the server help me kill the boss as fast as possible. This would make it so it was like 3 Terminator guys instead of 1 Term guy. Because if it was me in my Lapis armor and Juju versus a Terminator guy, even if I beat in the first 20% by myself, he would still outdamage me. But if there was 5 Terminator guys, I would have the highest damage. And this ended up working out. I had 3rd highest damage, and I was 3 million damage off from getting 2nd highest damage. So I'm considering this a win, considering there was about 12 people doing this boss, and I basically tied for 2nd. I was finally done with this damn boss that took me a little over 20 minutes to kill, and would have taken me over an hour to kill if people had not helped me. And now for the last and bitchiest / hardest boss ever, Ashfang. Ashfang is next to the Hollowed Skull and is the hardest boss in the Nether update. Harder than Kudra basic tier. He just sucks. So Ashfang is 50 million health, and you need to kill the minions surrounding him in order to actually deal damage to him. They'll spawn in like burning eyes or whatever, and you have to hit them into him. And that's how you do damage. And there's 3 ways to do it. You use 3 different types of mobs. 1 takes only damage from melee, 1 takes damage from anything but melee, and 1 you have to aggro and drag into a gravity pool. Now, the damage is only when hitting the burning eyes into Ashfang. And I didn't really leech or steal that much from people, but I still did. My job was mainly clearing the gray guys, or the gravity ones. Reason this being, I can't do 10 million damage with melee or mage that effectively without having to die and reset. So I was in charge, partially, of dragging the gray ones into the gravity area. Then I would get like 3 and I'll hit all of them in and get big, easy damage. Now because there was a lot of people doing this, as long as I continue to get most of the grays, I would have highest damage placing. And after around 15 minutes, which isn't too bad to kill Ashfang in a random lobby, we had finally killed him. And I got in 1st place damage by a long shot. And I hadn't even stolen that much. I did still steal a little bit. I'm in Lapis armor, what can you expect? But I didn't steal that hard. So after a lot of work and a lot of pain, I finally beat every single one of the mini bosses on this island in Lapis armor, using bugs, using different types of metas, using different gear. I had beaten every boss. But this was not the end of the Nether update. I still had to beat the Blaze Slayers, the Kudra, and maybe even the Dojo in Lapis armor. So, if this video does well, I'll make a part 2 where I do Blaze Slayers and Kudra. If you guys enjoyed today's video, subscribe. And I hope if this does well, I'll make more parts to it. Thanks so much for watching this far. I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.